we've got our first teaser trailer for the next Disney live-action remake, and this one has got me stunned. All the details right here. So we're getting a live-action Moana. We've known about this for a little while, but the very first teaser trailer has just dropped, giving us essentially our first look at what they're doing with this thing. So I've been doing my YouTube channel for the best part of 10 years, sort of over this entire course of time that Disney have been doing these live-action remakes, so I've been on the record dozens and dozens of times about my feelings towards these things, and that kind of hasn't changed too much over the years. For the most part, I really like these live-action remakes. There are some that I really love, like Beauty and the Beast. I know that's a kind of controversial take, but I loved what they did with that. Maleficent, Cinderella, Jungle Book, Christopher Robin, these all rank kind of really at the top of my list of these live-action remakes. So most of these I have actually really enjoyed. I've enjoyed what they've done with them for the most part. Again, I've said over and over again over the years that I enjoy these most when they bring something new to the table, they add some new elements to the story, they put maybe a little bit of a different spin on the story, they try to do something that is different to the animated film. And I feel like when they first started doing these, for the most part, they were doing that. There was a sort of a reason for these to exist. They offered a new take on the story in a new medium with a new vision. But the longer that Disney have been doing these things, I feel like they have just been doing a control copy, control paste on the animated films and just chucking them into like a live action thing. That said, here's the trailer for Moana. This has to hold the record of the shortest time between Disney animation and Disney live action. As I record this in 2025, Moana came out only 9 years ago. By the time this movie comes out, it will have been out for a decade. So hey, let's celebrate this 10th anniversary of one of our most beloved animated films of the new era with a live action version. Hey, you don't have to watch that old one anymore. Just watch this new one, right? So first off, we're off on a pretty bad footing there. It's weird that we're doing this so close. And not only that, but we had a sequel to the animated film last year. Literally. 2 years between an animated sequel and then a remake, a live action remake of the original animated film. It's wacky. This thing just never sounded right from the beginning. It's just has sounded really weird and just stupid from day one. But now we have the trailer and we realize the full extent of the stupidity that is behind this movie. I have been very lenient on Disney over the years. Not only with these live action remakes, but with so many other things that they're doing and so many other business decisions and films and stuff that they've made over the years, I've been pretty cool with. These are movies that are there predominantly for children and families to go and enjoy. And for the most cases, you know, these have been remakes of movies that are at minimum like 30 years old, 50, 60, 70-year-old, 80-year-old remakes, sort of in the case of Snow White and Pinocchio, which was one that I didn't like at all. So I've found an understanding in the reasoning for them to kind of remake these, put a new spin on them, put a new take on them for new generations, new audiences. That's fine. Stories get retold over and over again over the last 100+ years of cinema, right? There have been so many different versions of Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, and the Disney versions is just the tip of the iceberg, you know, and that's totally fine. But Moana, this is a original Disney story that came out at this point less than a decade ago, and we're already remaking it in live action. Now, I didn't have such a huge problem with this until I saw the trailer. This is the same movie. You cannot convince me otherwise. I know this is only a 60-second trailer, and there's so much more that they can show us, and hey, maybe they will surprise us and throw in some new stuff and do some new things, but from what I'm seeing from this trailer, hey, look what's coming out in a year's time. Well, guess what? I can watch the animation right now and it's going to be exactly the same. Not only are they just redoing this story again, but these visuals are almost exactly shot for shot the animated film. I know that a big criticism for these movies over the years has been that a lot of them are kind of shot for shot, but I don't think any of them have got anywhere near as close as what Moana is doing right here. Some of these shots even look animated. Like, literally, the backgrounds look animated. They look like they could have just used the original files from the animated film and made them look a little bit less cartoony. And check out the Kakamora. They look like they just come straight out of the animated movie. Like, literally, this looks the same. I could have sworn, until Moana came up on the screen, this live-action human, that this was just the animated film and someone was pulling my chain. I don't understand this. I don't know, what are we doing here, Disney? What are we doing? I think we're at the edge. Disney have blasted through all of their classics. And now they're scrambling. And I think this is the test to be like, hey, I wonder if we can give this a shot with, like, the movie that we made 10 years ago. Let's see how it goes. Pessimist in me thinks that this is going to just tank. But the realist in me is thinking general audiences probably don't care that much. And I know children certainly don't care that much. I feel like families are just going to swarm to see this thing. Like, I can see this thing making a lot of money to cross that $1 billion mark. I'm struggling to see the audience for this, because we all remember seeing this movie in cinemas, right? So is this for is this a nostalgia bait? I don't know, because a lot of these movies have just been nostalgia bait, right? Hey, you 25-year-old millennial, remember seeing Beauty and the Beast in the cinemas when you were 4 years old? Now you can see it in live action. But Moana is like, I don't know if it has that nostalgia push. It's going for a new audience. It's a kind of strange. I don't know how this is going to go, box office wise, whatever. Also, this is nowhere near as colourful and as vibrant as the original animation. And I feel like a lot of these live action things have copped this kind of criticism over the years, is that a lot of them aren't as colourful or as vibrant as they should be. They're certainly not going to match that colourful nature of animation without oversaturating everything. It probably becomes a little bit more cartoony again. So I think they bring the colours down to make it a bit more realistic. But a big part of the allure for Moana is the gorgeous visuals and the colours and the brightness and the vivaciousness of the whole thing. This thing just looks flat and drab. So essentially we're getting the same movie, doesn't look as good, and it's just got some live action people in here. What I can give this is that Catherine Lagaya looks fantastic in the role. They've picked a really good Moana. This movie, I don't know how much it's got going for it. And I'm sorry not to be able to be more positive about this, because I always try to find a positive spin. I try to be really positive about everything. But I feel like I'm getting to my end of the rope with Disney recently, and a lot of the stuff they're putting out is just subpar, because I feel like everything is just so focused on streaming and that side of the business. And I feel like the love and the attention and the care into these movies is not where it has been in the past and where it should be now. I think this proves a few things that people have been saying over the last few years. The nostalgia bubble has burst, Disney have officially run out of good ideas, and there's no originality left in the well. It's time that Disney gets back on their feet again and finds it in them to get more originality. I'm not talking about the artists who are putting so much love and soul and blood and sweat and tears into these productions. I'm talking about the studio heads who are crushing down on top of them. I think it's time that we finally go back to doing more original stuff. I know Disney's still putting out some original sprinkles here and there, but I want more. From both live action and animation. I know they've been trying their hardest with the animated stuff lately, and it just keeps tanking at the box office, which sucks. But I want more original family live action films. We had so many great ones when we were growing up. Granted, some of them like The Parent Trap and Freaky Friday and Flubber, etc. were remakes to begin with, right? So they have always been kind of remaking things and recycling things, but we had so many great originals as well. The Santa Claus, The Mighty Ducks, Cool Runnings, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like real pure originality, and they were just so great, and I want Disney to go back to that now. I've had enough of these remakes. And I think once Bob Iger is finally out of the seat, I've been a big supporter of his. Over the years, he did a great job in the kind of early 2010s in reviving the company. But I think it's gone beyond him now and we need some fresh blood in the seat. I think Disney needs a massive shake-up at this point. So, Moana, the live-action remake, hits theaters in 2026. I'll probably keep covering it as stuff comes out. But until then, I want to know your thoughts on this thing. As always, join the conversation down below.